Hey guys, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're taking a look at an auction purchase here. USA import of a turbo diesel 60 series Land Cruiser. Now this one was bought from auction and we're going to be exporting this to the USA, and so let's take a look at the condition of it. So first off, the engine, like most of these Land Cruisers, runs very well. It is a diesel engine and it is a classic style diesel engine, so it is noisy and brash and manly and great, and the response is just amazing. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a throttle touch so that you can see how awesome the response is. Now watch the tachometer here. Now I'm going to turn it off because the engine is noisy. When you close the hood it gets manageable, but it is a noisy engine and I don't want to be shouting during this video. And so the engine running condition is good. These are very popular to export from Japan because there are lots of them here in Japan, and condition of these worldwide is really hard to find one in good condition now because rust has eaten them up and spat out the pieces, and it's just really hard to find a good one. Japan has some good ones. Rust is an issue, but the mechanics of it, engine wise, generally they're really reliable, but they are old and so they are going to have niggly bits and going to need maintenance and love. But when they look this good, the white with the stripes on there, those are the classic iconic 60 series stripes for the turbo version. And what's cool about this is it is going to the USA. USA never got the turbo diesels of these. They just got the regular 12H 4-liter diesels without the turbocharger. Now finding one that's white is really uncommon, and usually you're paying a few $1,000s extra just for the white paint because it looks so good. Now I'm going to go over the auction sheet here. This is the inspection given to us from the auction, and this will tell the condition of the vehicle. And then I'm going to go over the vehicle inside and outside and show you the all around it. Before we do that though, I'm just going to show you a couple of things inside here. We have some oil residue around the turbo there. And so probably a turbo seal is going to need to be replaced sometime soon. Doesn't look like it's enough to drip down, but it is something that needs to be checked out. And then if you take a look inside here, you probably can't see it very well because it's dark in there, but with a flashlight you can see there is some oil leaking down from what looks like the valve cover. Also cool to take a look at the clutch booster there for the clutch master cylinder. Very cool that it needs a clutch booster like that, but when your clutch holds as much power as you need to for a vehicle like that, then I guess it needs to have the booster to make it manageable to drive. And it's so easy to shift these and so easy to drive these for the size of the vehicle. I just love them so much. Okay, so let's go over this. It's a 1987 Land Cruiser VX four-wheel drive, so that's the turbo diesel. You can also tell because it says HJ61 here, that's the chassis code for it, and the 61 is the turbo. 4,000 cc. This is an auction grade 3.5 with an interior seat. Mileage on the vehicle is unknown. The gauge shows 73,854 kilometers, but see this star here means that the mileage is unknown on the car. Now because of that we need to be very extra careful of checking the car condition to know how good it is, and I've looked it over. It looks to be pretty good compared to your average Land Cruiser, and it does have some problems here and there. We'll get into those. Okay, so it says this car is a mileage unknown, so check yourself in person. Comes with manual or oh man, I can't read this. It says, unknown what modifications that it has. And it says the battery is dead, but it's actually not. It worked fine starting it up, even though this one has been parked in our lot for a couple of days since it came in. It's a dual battery, 24 volt system, so do be careful. It's not your standard 12 volt system. Okay, so exterior has rust and touch-up paint in various places, it says. And this is lots of places. See all the dots on the diagram there? So those are rust. S1 is rust, and wherever there's a dot, there's rust. S1 there, rust right there, and on the back next to the window. You also have uneven paint here, so they painted it with spray paint in a section, and I'll show you that as well. And the dots are basically little touch-up paint spaces. Now the funny thing is, the condition of the body, aside from those little bits of surface rust, is actually really good. There are almost no dents and almost no scratches on the body, and so it looked really good, but the touch-up paint is very visible. Take a look here. Now this part here has more than most of the other areas of the vehicle, and so that's why I'm showing you that, so it's easy for you to see. The hood also has it, and the roof has a lot. I'm going to show you up there. Rust on the roof, especially on these side sections here, is a big deal breaker for the Land Cruiser 60. So going up, and there we can see it. The rust has been kind of ground down and then painted over. And so the roof has it pretty badly. Now, even if you have a rusty roof Land Cruiser or a rusty chassis Land Cruiser or rust around the wheel wells, these vehicles, people are seeing a lot of value in them these days. They're typically, now I'm not going to say the price of this one, but they're typically going for between 1 million to 2 million yen at the moment in terms of price. And that's a good chunk higher than it was about 5 years ago before they were really popular to import. Okay, going back to the auction sheet here. So it says interior is dirty, seat side is saggy, interior has rips. Those are on the door cards. And almost all the Land Cruiser 60s I've seen have had those problems, so I'll show you that. Winch cover is ripped, and that's a full mechanical winch that uses the engine to power the winch. It's not electrical like almost all the winches are of these days, and so very cool to see that. Underside has surface rust, but note there's no corrosion, and it has aftermarket wheels and aftermarket suspension. It has been lifted up and put on bigger tires, 35 12.5. Right front power window doesn't work, and the bed has scratches. And then I already kind of went over this, but rust is the big thing. I'm just going to throw this one over here next to the donguris, which is Japanese for acorns, and close the hood so you can see how cool the vehicle looks. I need to put the camera down because the hood's really heavy and really big on these. And the nice front bumper has step plates so that you can get into the hood when you're doing repairs. So that's really cool. And I love the offset license plate mount. It goes right here, so it's not in the center. Okay, so first off, I'm going to do a once around so you can see what the vehicle looks like from afar. Note that this one has fender mirrors on it, which are only an option on the earlier ones. This one's probably the last year that you could get the fender mirrors, and I've never seen them on the turbo diesel model. I've only ever seen them on the gasoline models. Now it's a 5-seater, but it's a very big vehicle inside. The back section doesn't have seats, but it's big enough to have seats if you needed to. Or like, you know, most 8-seater vehicles would be the size of this. In fact, the 70 series Land Cruiser, it was also sold at the same time as this. It was the industrial version. You could get them with 8 seats. And the interior is roughly the same size. The white with the red decals is just awesome. Now, the decals are a little bit damaged. There's cracking and fading on them. But it still looks really good, especially from afar. Like if you saw this vehicle driving down the street, it's going to turn heads big time. Especially with that white paint. Just love it so much. Almost all of them here in Japan are like a darker color, like a black or something. And the white just looks really good to me. So you get rectangular headlights here. For the diesel versions, the gasolines had the circular headlights. Fender mirrors are in great shape, which is good because finding something like this would be very hard. You can see the mounts are all really nice and sharp. They don't have any damage around here from where the door mirrors may have been on. And so what that says to me is that this one was an original fender mirror vehicle and not one that has been converted. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little bit here, sides, and then we'll get into the damages. And then interior. And the interior I love of these. It just feels so good. This is, to me, the perfect era of Japanese cars, is the late 80s, because they were making the best. They were 10 years at least ahead of any other manufacturer during the late 80s. And yeah. Now Land Cruiser 40 series have a lot of value right now. I think the 60 series is going to go in the same direction. Okay, so damages. We got some scrapes on the front cap there. Can be sanded down if you need to. Got a little bit of surface rust in here. And there's one more place that you have that. Where was it? Oh, I got a picture of it. I'm not sure. A little bit of rust here, which doesn't really count as engine room rust. I couldn't find any engine room rust, and so that's a very good thing. Underside looks nice and clean. You can see cracks in the turbo there. This is aftermarket. We got corrosion holes in the sill area here. Take a look. Now it is an area that I think is very common to rust and fairly easy to fix if it's rusty. Looking at the underside, it actually looks way better than most of them. Now it is dark, so it's going to be hard to see anything, and we do our best to try to figure out the condition of the underside, but this is just a vehicle report. It is not a guarantee of condition, but the vehicle comes from auction. It's generally checked fairly well with lights and everything from the auction. You can see here only a little bit of surface rusting in here. That's all solid metal, and this section here has some corrosion, and this section here has some. Okay, over to this side. I'll show you the uneven paint. It's right at the top of the door here. Have a close look. So you see that kind of cloudiness, and this piece is has come off and is missing on the other side in the same location. Have some fade here in the sticker. Now I have seen replica stickers of these made, and so that is an option if you do really want it. Okay, tires. Big tires for the vehicle, good size up. They're 35, which is inches high, and then 12.5 is the inches sideways, and then 15-inch aftermarket wheel. And I do like these aftermarket wheels. I think they're really good looking. Okay, going into the vehicle here. So, door cards. The window here, the motor works, but the tracks are off, and so it doesn't go up appropriately. We're gonna have to tape a plastic bag over that so it doesn't get wet inside. These are the tears on the interior. They always happen on these because the sun comes in the window and just kind of fries that and makes it very fragile. And it's usually on all the doors. I did take pictures of all the doors. This one's fine, but I know those two over there both have it. Okay, inside the door jambs, there's no corrosion in here, and so that's a good thing. Anywhere on any of the corners, great. Steering wheel is in good condition. These seats are exclusive to the turbo version, as you could probably guess. And seats, these often rip. This one's not ripped. Very cool. You can get them with springs in them, which is really cool. This one doesn't have it. But the seating position, I think, in this is ideal. It's not too straight-legged. It's not too upright. Kind of a very 80s feel that I like. Grab here, step here, and up we go. It doesn't have floor mats. I would recommend getting some. It has this super thick shag carpet. It's like 12 millimeters thick. Power steering works, but it's a little bit, it feels a little bit loose. That could be due to the bigger tires and the suspension lift, but might want to check that out. Small little tachometer here, and it has a turbo light. See this light here? It'll light up when the turbo comes on. No cracks in the dashboard. That's a big thumbs up. Doesn't smell like cigarettes in here. That's another big thumbs up because most of the Land Cruisers in Japan do. 5-speed manual, yes. So you can get them in manual or auto. Manuals cost more, so manual with the white is a really lucky find. So even though it has some places like corrosion on the sills and some spots on the body, it's definitely worth. You can keep it in the condition that it's in right now, or you can put some money into it and to make it last longer. But no matter what, I think it's lucky to get on a vehicle like this. This one shows you how high you are altitude-wise. And it tells you your outside and inside temperatures right next to each other there. All of the turbos come with a sunroof. The sunroofs in these are weird because when you open them, when they get to the very full open, they go and they all make that sound. Kind of strange. I think that's the way that they were all, like, we've exported probably about 35 of these, and every single one has done that. Love the brown interior. They come in either brown or blue interior. Okay. And speakers in the roof. Very cool. Onto the back here. And here's the S1 on the back. Kind of a common place for it to rust. Bit of a pain in the butt, but that's life. Back door is a little bit saggy. Have a look. So here's full open, and then it comes down a little bit, like a couple centimeters. I believe you can get a 60 series with barnyard doors, but all the ones that we export have been the double lift gate style. One lift gate, one tailgate. I think barnyard was only available on the gasoline engines, and that's why I never see them. And barnyard doors, what I mean is the ones that have like a split in the middle and they open outwards, like that. And then nice carpet. And look at all that space. You could possibly live in there. And then these seats, they can also flip down and out of the way to give you even more room. So good hunting vehicle, because you'd have lots of room to put your hunting in it. Okay, so basically that is going to be everything for this one. Hope you enjoyed the walk around. Wow, we're at 16 minutes. It's longer than these videos usually are, but Land Cruisers just do that for me. They push all the right buttons, especially 60 and 70 series are my favorite by far. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.